Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're getting into something absolutely core, really fundamental if you're dealing with cloud computing at all.
Mm.
We're doing a deep dive into, well, the crucial role DevOps plays in making cloud transformation actually succeed. We're using insights from a Techshift article by Jay Tillotson.
That's right. And our aim here isn't just, a summary. We really want to unpack the core ideas.
Just to the heart of it.
Yeah, pull out the most important takeaways and really understand why embedding DevOps isn't just like a nice to have. It's pretty much non-negotiable if you want your cloud move to deliver on its promise.
Right. Think of this as your way to get a clear, sharp understanding fast. The connection between these huge concepts, cloud, DevOps cutting through the jargon.
Getting straight to the strategy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So before we jump into why it's so essential for the cloud journey, maybe we should level set. What exactly is DevOps?
Okay, yeah, good point. Let's unpack that. The source defines it, well, partly as a methodology, but also a cultural philosophy.
Yeah.
It's about merging software development,
Yeah.
the dev part, with IT operations, the ops side.
And the main goal isn't just being a bit faster. It's about significantly boosting an organization's capacity to deliver apps and services, really quickly.
hmm
Evolving products, responding to the market much, much faster than before.
And here's where it gets, well, really interesting, I think. It's way more than just tools. It's a big shift from the old way of doing things.
Fundamental shift.
Yeah, it means breaking down those classic silos, the ones between development, operations, even security teams.
Uh-huh. No more throwing things over the wall.
Exactly. Instead of one team building something and lobbing it over to the next, these teams work together, like collaboratively, across the whole application lifecycle,
From the very beginning, right? Planning, coding.
all the way through testing, deploying, running it, monitoring it, the whole 9 yards.
And look, while the culture is absolutely central, it is supported by technology. There's a tech stack, there are tools involved, but they're enablers, not the core focus. They're vital for automating things that used to be manual and slow, like integrating code changes automatically, running tests, setting up infrastructure, deploying updates.
So automation, yeah, continuous feedback loops, always improving iteratively. Those are the key mechanics. But you keep stressing it's more than tools. What does that cultural part actually feel like day to day?
That's the really crucial bit the article hammers home. It is absolutely not just about buying some fancy software. It's a deep cultural shift.
Okay.
It focuses on shared responsibility. Everyone owns the outcome. It encourages transparency. You have to really understand user needs, minimize waste in your processes, and always, always be looking for ways to deliver more value to the customer. It's a big change in mindset, how teams talk, how they solve problems.
Okay, right. So if that's DevOps, this mix of culture, collaboration, automation, constant improvement, let's link that straight to cloud transformation. The article really drives home that cloud transformation isn't just lifting and shifting your servers.
No, it's much bigger. It's about fundamentally reimagining how your organization creates and delivers value.
So how does DevOps fit in?
Well, what's fascinating is how DevOps acts as the bridge.
Yeah.
It's the connector, really, between that big vision, reimagining value in the cloud, and actually making it happen on the ground.
How so?
It speeds up delivery cycles massively thanks to that automation and collaboration we just talked about. It also cuts down risk a lot.
Because things are standardized.
Exactly. Standardized processes, repeatable steps, and those continuous feedback loops mean you catch issues way earlier.
And critically, it enables that scalability and agility everyone wants from the cloud, right?
Yeah.
Without DevOps, actually using that on-demand infrastructure effectively, adapting quickly when the business needs change, it's just incredibly hard.
It really is. And the article draws a pretty stark contrast.
Yeah.
Organizations that treat DevOps like an afterthought, maybe they assign it to one small team or think about it after the migration,
Yeah.
they run into trouble. Prolonged timelines, major cost overruns, and often they just miss out on the actual benefits the cloud was supposed to deliver in the first place.
So it just becomes a new, maybe more expensive place to run the same old problems?
Pretty much. That's the risk.
Okay, so the benefit of embedding DevOps right from the start, from day one of your cloud journey, seems obvious then. It unlocks faster time to market for new stuff
Yep. Drives operational efficiency because things are smoother, more automated.
and gives you a real sustained competitive advantage because you can just move faster, react quicker than competitors who are stuck in the old ways. It sounds like the engine you need for real transformation.
That's a great way to put it. It is the engine. And Jay Tillotson in the article breaks down how you actually build this engine into 3 core pillars.
Okay, pillars, let's get into those. So the first one, automation, described as the backbone, right? For speed, for consistency in the cloud, getting rid of those manual bottlenecks.
Exactly. And the article gives concrete examples, things like CI/CD pipelines.
Continuous integration, continuous delivery.
Right. Automating all the steps from checking in code, running tests, all the way to deploying it. This cuts down errors hugely and speeds up releases.
Makes sense.
Then there's infrastructure as code, IAC. This means defining your cloud setup servers, networks, databases using code, like software.
So it's repeatable.
Perfectly repeatable. Ensures your dev environment matches test, matches production, every single time. Consistency.
And I thought this one was really cool, self-healing systems. The idea of building in automated responses like rollbacks or recovery steps.
Yeah, so if a deployment goes wrong, the system can often fix itself or revert automatically. Minimizes downtime without needing someone to jump in immediately.
The impact stat mentioned for automation is honestly pretty striking. Teams using the stuff well cut deployment times by 60 to 80%.
Huge improvement.
And at the same time, they improve reliability. Think about what that means practically. It's not just speed for speed's sake.
No, it's agility.
Right. It's the ability to pivot super fast based on what you're learning from the market. If your competitor takes weeks to push a change, and you can do it in, say, hours or days, that's a massive edge. It fundamentally changes how quickly you can test ideas or respond to threats.
Absolutely. Okay, so pillar number 2, collaboration. This is all about tearing down those old walls, those silos between dev, ops, and importantly, security teams.
How does that actually work day to day? The source mentions things like unified tool chains.
Yeah, think shared platforms. Everyone using the same system for version control, for monitoring what's happening, for handling incidents when they occur.
A single source of truth.
Exactly. Everyone sees the same picture. It also fosters cross-functional ownership.
Meaning
Devs and ops teams share responsibility. They jointly own the outcome of the service, not just their little piece of the puzzle. That really drives accountability and faster problem solving.
right. No more finger pointing.
Hopefully less of it. And crucially, security integration. People often call this DevSecOps. It's about building security checks and practices into the process early on, right into those automated CI/CD pipelines.
So you find vulnerabilities sooner, when they're cheaper and easier to fix.
Precisely. Not as an afterthought right before release.
And the impact stat here. Strong collaboration leads to faster incident resolution and fewer compliance issues, which again just makes intuitive sense. If everyone's talking and aligned.
Problems get solved faster, and things like security and compliance are baked in from the start.
Okay, so automation, collaboration. What's the third pillar?
Continuous improvement. Because cloud environments are so dynamic, always changing, you absolutely need a way to constantly refine, learn, and get better.
Right, you can't just set it and forget it.
Not in the cloud. So this involves things like implementing real-time monitoring, tracking performance, keeping an eye on costs, security posture, using dashboards, maybe AI analytics to get instant visibility.
Seeing what's actually happening?
Yeah. And critically, building in feedback loops. Really using those post-deployment reviews, retrospectives, and direct user feedback to decide what to improve next. Learning from what worked and what didn't.
And something vital in the cloud world, cost optimization. Automating resource scaling, maybe right-sizing instances, making sure your cloud spend matches actual demand.
Avoiding that bill shock.
Exactly. The impact cited here is that these continuous improvement practices cut down on cloud waste while actually boosting application performance. So it's a win-win.
So those are the 3 pillars. Automation for speed and consistency, collaboration for shared ownership and breaking silos, and continuous improvement for learning and optimizing constantly. That's the core engine.
Okay, that sounds powerful. But the article also warns about pitfalls, right? It's not always a smooth ride.
Oh, definitely not. There are some really common traps organizations fall into.
Like what? What's the biggest one?
Probably the biggest is treating DevOps like it's just a tool set you buy, or just a new piece of software to install, rather than the deep cultural shift it needs to be.
We keep coming back to that culture piece.
Because it's fundamental.
Yeah.
And treating it as just tools directly undermines that crucial collaboration pillar.
So what's the solution?
The article suggests really focusing on fostering a blameless culture, where experimentation is okay, even encouraged, where sharing failures is seen as a learning opportunity for everyone, and where you actively reward teams solving problems together, not just individual heroes. It's about changing how people behave and interact.
Okay. Another pitfall mentioned is inconsistent environments.
Yeah, this is a classic.
Mm.
Your development setup doesn't quite match testing, which is different again from production. It's almost guaranteed to cause problems when you deploy.
Right, the "it worked on my machine" syndrome.
Exactly that. And the fix goes back to the automation pillar. Double down on infrastructure as code, IAC. Use containerization, like Docker or Kubernetes. These technologies help ensure your environments are built from code, identical everywhere, repeatable, predictable.
Makes sense. What else? Pitfall 3.
Neglecting skills development. Cloud-native tech. DevOps approaches like SRE site reliability engineering.
Which is like applying software engineering thinking to operations.
Basically, yes. These require new skills, a different mindset. You can't just expect people to pick it up without support.
So the solution is obvious, I guess?
Pretty direct. Invest properly in upskilling programs. And not just tool training, but teaching the methodologies, the principles behind why you're working this way.
Right. And the last pitfall, overlooking governance.
Yeah. With all the speed and flexibility from cloud and DevOps, things can feel like they're moving too fast, maybe getting out of control.
A bit like the Wild West.
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
The suggested solution is what the article calls a control tower model. Think centralized oversight, often automated, that enforces security policies, checks costs, ensures architectural standards are met.
But without becoming a bottleneck.
That's the goal, enabling speed, but doing it safely and compliantly. Governance with agility, not instead of it.
Okay, so we know the pillars, we know the pitfalls. How does an organization actually aim for sustainable success here? The source offers some best practices, right?
Yes, some concrete steps. First, start small. Use a pilot project on something non-critical.
Don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly. Learn the ropes, iterate, prove the value before going big bang.
Good advice. What else?
Adopt a platform engineering approach. This means building internal platforms that provide developers with self-service tools, templates, standardized ways to build and deploy.
So you make it easy for developers to do the right thing.
Precisely. They can move fast using pre-approved, secure, efficient patterns without needing deep infrastructure knowledge for every single task.
And you absolutely have to measure what matters. Track the right metrics.
Yes. Things like deployment frequency. How often are you releasing? Lead time for changes, how long from code commit to production? And mean time to recovery, MTTR. How fast can you fix things when they break?
Those numbers tell you if you're actually getting faster and more resilient, right?
They tell you if your DevOps transformation is actually delivering results. And finally, don't feel you have to go it alone.
Partner up.
Yeah. Partner strategically. Find vendors or consultants who are genuinely DevOps savvy. They can plug skill gaps, speed up your learning, and bring in battle-tested practices.
Okay. This all brings us back to that really core strategic question the article raises, aimed especially at leaders. Is your organization using DevOps to truly enable cloud transformation, to fundamentally change how you operate, or are you just treating it like, an incremental IT upgrade, just a slightly faster way to do the same old things?
It really underlines that point again. If DevOps stays stuck in a silo, maybe just within engineering, or if the focus is only on the tools without changing the culture and the processes, you're absolutely leaving the biggest benefits, the truly transformative value, on the table.
So real success means embedding this stuff, DevOps, as a cultural thing, an operational mandate across the whole business.
That's the argument. Leaders need to actively link that automation, that collaboration, that continuous improvement directly to the big business goals. It stops being just about moving servers.
It becomes about reinventing how you compete, how you innovate, how you deliver value in this cloud-first era.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the strategic potential.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the connection seems crystal clear. DevOps isn't just related to cloud transformation. It's like the essential engine.
It's the engine, the compass, the catalyst. It's what turns the potential of the cloud into actual tangible business results.
And, as the source reminds us, this isn't a project with an end date. Cloud transformation powered by DevOps. It's a journey, continuous evolution.
Perpetual improvement.
Yeah.
Which leads us to that final thought from the article, something for you, the listener, to really chew on.
Go on.
The question isn't if you need to integrate DevOps with your cloud strategy anymore. That should really be a given now. The real question is, how quickly can you mature that integration? How fast can you get really good at this to stay ahead of disruption, ahead of the competition?
So, the provocative thought is, what does maturing this integration actually look like in your specific context, in your organization?
What are those next steps for you? Something to think about.